What up, guys? This is Maxske. I'm an Ekko 1 Trick in Diamond right now, and I will be showing you guys today my most favorite build, my #1 build, call it the Maxske Special, where I slightly tweak an item in the traditional Ekko Protobelt build, and I think it works wonders for mid and top lane. I'll discuss the pros of it, I'll discuss why it's a better build path than other items, but I'll also touch upon, slight tweaks to it depending for different matchups. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you learned something about how to be the best Ekkos in the world.
You never see this coming.
So the three main Ekko builds right now are Frost Queens, GUNBLADE, and Protobelt. The Frost Queens build, popularized by St. Killen, basically lets you play a little safer in lane and then explode for a huge amount of early mid-game gold. So you basically carry the game by hitting a power spike before anybody else does. But that's not the build I'm doing. GUNBLADE is for people who want to win lane so hard that they literally destroy the enemy laner and then continue to carry the game. But I personally don't like GUNBLADE, so that's not my playstyle either. My preferred pick, and what I'm going to be focusing on in this video, is the notorious, the glorious Protobelt. And I'll tell you my build path with Protobelt. I think Protobelt is the safest pick, but also very strong, and you'll see why. So Hextech Protobelt is the first item you will rush to build. This item gives you 300 HP, which gives you tankiness, which Protobelt and Frost Queens do not. And it may only give you 60 AP, but it makes up for it in utility. It gives you 10% CDR, which is amazing early on Ekko. It gives you a tiny dash, which synergizes with your E to help you gap close. But not only that, it gives you an AoE ability to damage more than one target, which GUNBLADE and Frost Queens do not. They do have their own perks, but I prefer the AoE ability because Ekko has a lot of AoE. The second item, which is kind of a staple for most mages, is Sorc boots. Now, these are good because they give you 15 flat MR penetration. That being said, it'll synergize with the next item very well, but just so you guys know that you can build Merc Treads and or Ninja Tabby, well not and, or Ninja Tabbies depending on the enemy team. If the enemy team has a lot of CC, you build Merc Treads. If the enemy team has a lot of armor and auto attack damage, you build Tabbies. That's self-explanatory. But I try as much as I can to go Merc Treads. Now, the core of this build, what makes it Maxske special, is that my third item, well I guess my second main item, rush, is Liandry's Torment. Now, some people rush Void Staff, some people rush Lich Bane, but no, I prefer this item because this item synergizes perfectly with Protobelt and synergizes perfectly with your Sorc boots. So basically, you'll finish this item in the early game. I guess like early mid-ish game, right? So basically, it gives you another 300 HP. So that stacks on top of your Protobelt HP. So now you get a total of 600 HP. So now Ekko is becoming tanky. It gives you 80 AP, which is a lot. And it gives you 15 flat Magic Pen. So combine that with Sorc boots and you get 30 flat Magic Pen. In the early-ish game, your ADC, your support, if it's like an Ardent support, your mid laner, and possibly jungle and top, depending on if they're like, pure tanks or like bruisers, they will all have very little MR now. Usually the ADC, mid laner, and support in my games have less than 15 MR, even sometimes less than 10 when I build Liandry's. So it shreds the enemy. Plus, alongside with your 4% burn because of your Q slow, it's an amazing item and it does so much damage. Now, Void Staff used to be my second rush, but Void Staff is only useful mid-game because that's when people start usually getting MR. But we'll talk about Void Staff later. And Lich Bane rush, I'm pretty sure that Liandry's Torment is better because it literally cuts out all their magic resist and gives you the burn and does 80 AP, which is the same thing as Lich Bane. But we do get Lich Bane next, so let's talk about Lich Bane. Now we'll be talking about Lich Bane. So Lich Bane is the 4th item in the core 4 of the Maxske special build. Lich Bane is self-explanatory. Lich Bane does a huge amount of on-hit damage, which synergizes well with all of Ekko's abilities. Gives you split pushing power, gives you CDR, gives you movement speed, 80 AP. Basically, any melee AP fighter, or even sometimes mages, get this item because literally the auto attacks you do so much damage. And Ekko auto attacks a lot because Ekko's auto attack synergize with his W passive, which is percent health when they're like almost dead. Alongside with Lich Bane procs, your auto attacks will do a lot of damage. And so yeah, Lich Bane is kind of self-explanatory, and it's usually built regardless in any Ekko build. So now I will talk about the next 2 items, which vary depending on game and how you are doing. Before that, I just want to sum up why these are my core 4 and why I build them in this order. So Protobelt is the staple, gives you HP, CDR, AoE, utility. That I think is understandable. Sorc boots, I think is also understandable because usually people build boots second. Boots are good on Ekko, gives them movement speed, and it gives you the flat magic pen. The reason I build Liandry's before Lich Bane is because Liandry gives you also HP, makes me stronger in the early game, tank-wise. But also that 15 extra magic pen is so strong early, literally matches Lich Bane, if not does more damage than Lich Bane. Plus, it synergizes perfectly to kill HP tanks, especially if the enemy team has HP tanks. But not only that, your passive W does percent missing health, and Liandry's Torment does percent current HP. So you'll be doing more damage with Liandry's when they have more HP, and then when they have like really low HP, that's when your passive will kick in, alongside Liandry's passive. And then you build Lich Bane to wrap it all off because you need CDR at that point. And then Lich Bane is just an amazing item on Ekko. And with the 30 flat MR that you have now, Lich Bane will be doing even more damage. So now I'll be talking about the next 2 items that you could potentially build out of this list. These are not all the items you could build, but they're the most situational, I guess. They're items like Thorn Mail that you will build for like, I don't know, Fiora or something like that. But that's like very, very situational. So I'm going to keep it to like what you could see more often. So Zanya is self-explanatory. If you're going against like a Zed, a Talon, a large AD comp where you want to survive when you go in, you build Zanya's. Very good item. I usually try to build 1 or maybe even 2 defense items. And Zanya's usually always one of them because Zanya's, even if the enemy team is all mages, Zanya still saves your life thousands of times. Death Cap is what you want to build if you're literally just so far ahead and you want that extra burst damage. It's like crazy damage. Enemy like really isn't playing too well. They don't have that much CC. They're not that strong. Or maybe they are strong, but you just want to be even stronger, so you build Death Cap. So that's, I usually don't build Death Cap because I don't feel like I need it, but you could definitely build Death Cap if you want. Morellonomicon may not be a 5th item pick. It may be like a 1st or 2nd item buy, and then you do the core 4 because Morellonomicon usually, I hate Morellonomicon, but I only build it if the enemy team has 2 or more healing people like Vlad, a Darius, Aatrox, Soraka, Sona. Then I'll definitely build Morellonomicon because like you need to stop their healing. There's no counter for healing because I don't usually take Ignite. So yeah, so that's why you build Morello. Void Staff, I build Void Staff 5th or 6th because I depend and wait and see on how much MR the enemy has. If I'm shredding the enemy team with my Liandry's Torment and Sorc boots, then I won't get Void Staff. But if the enemy team builds stacking MR, like every single person has MR in the enemy team, that's what Void Staff is for. Usually if they have more than, I'd say 60, if everybody on the enemy team has, or 80% of them, so 4 out of the 5, have more than 60, maybe even more MR, then I say get Void Staff because at 50 MR, Void Staff does 17.5 Magic Pen at 50 MR. But you don't really need that because your Liandrys and Sorc boots will do more damage than Void Staff does. So that's why you build Void Staff later. But if they have like, 60, 70 MR, then maybe you should consider getting a Void Staff. Banshee's Veil. That's if they have a huge AP comp. I usually don't build Banshee's Veil unless they're like really AP heavy. And yeah, helps you block an ability, gives you a good amount of MR. And it's a solid item. Sometimes if I want to be really defensive, I go Zanyas and Banshees. That makes me kind of tanky, especially with my HP. But usually pick Zanyas or Banshees, preferably not both. But yeah. QSS is literally for the crazy CC comps. Usually always get QSS and build it into a Scimitar if the enemy team has a Malzahar. Like, Malzahar shuts you down. He just press R on you. Like, or they have a Warwick or something like that. You just want QSS to save your life. And there are other items on this list. Like I said, Thornmail. Sometimes even Abyssal Mask if they have so much AP that you're just getting wrecked. But those are very situational. These are the ones that I usually see the most. So yeah, that's pick any of those items to be your last two. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, learned something new about my special build, and I hope you put it to good use. Now watch me put it to good use.